If you have a coaching or consulting business, is it really worth it to invest thousands of dollars into programs that are meant to help you grow your business? In this video, I'll tell you the 4 tips that will allow you to know what to avoid, how to do it, and how to choose the best path for your journey so you don't have to overexpose yourself when it's not necessary. It's very important to keep a detached and objective approach when it comes to growing your business, but since so many aspects of your life, including your very livelihood, are sometimes attached to it, to your business, it's easy to fall victim of our emotions and to make an emotional decision that's not backed by any rational or logical thinking. So how do you actually go about this? Well, first, I want to share a bit of my experience investing $100,000 in some very expensive programs, and especially how I feel about those choices right now and if I do it all over again or not. Looking back, I have to admit that I probably skipped most of them, with maybe a couple of exceptions, or maybe just one, to be honest. And the reason why I'm saying this is that the information I got out of those programs is something I could have easily found online for free, and the support was in most cases very limited at best. The reason why I decided to buy those programs in the first place was mostly desperation, which is of course probably the worst motivation, and despite spending everything I had for 2 long years, I couldn't even make money, so I had to find other jobs. So here's our first tip. 1, compare options. If you're starting from scratch, get on as many calls as it makes sense, but don't make a decision on the first call with someone. If you tell people I need to think about it and they're not okay with it, chances are that they are afraid that you're comparing options, that you may reach out to a competitor and buy from them instead. If they try and push you into a corner, it's a big red flag. In fact, comparing options is absolutely what you should be doing. If a prospect tells me he wants to compare their options, I think he's a rational person. I'm not afraid to lose him, but I want to make sure that he is fully equipped to make the right decision for himself. 2, check the product. When you compare options, always look at their testimonials, at their marketing materials, do your due diligence fully. If you can, take a peek into their program. If you can do that, even better. If there are independent reviews on Google, what are people saying? Do their reviews all look like bots, or are they from real humans? Send your doubts and questions back to them so that they can explain things to you, and if the answers don't seem congruent or very convincing, that's another gigantic red flag. 4, take a look at your finances. This is where you actually look at yourself and your situation, and for example, if you have available $1,000 that you can afford to throw into your education, don't buy a $3,000 program where you have to pay in 3 installments if $1,000 is all you have. Guarantees are often fake, so don't fully trust you're going to get your money back. And speaking of guarantees, this business thing is not about hitting the jackpot or missing it. It's about trying a hypothesis or a theory and getting data from the market to find the weaknesses of that specific theory that you have so you can make it better. If a strategy is backed by a guarantee, in most cases it's either a way to lure you in, or it's not a great program to begin with. Now, of course, there are some exceptions, and some guarantees are better than others. Money-back guarantees in the coaching space are usually the worst, whereas a guarantee that says that we'll work with you until you get the results makes sense, because that's exactly how business works. You get it wrong the first time, which is okay, and you don't need a strategy that's different. You need to optimize yours and make it better until it does work. And remember that time is on your side if you are patient and consistent, but the moment you invest more than what you have, all of a sudden you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. As a consequence, your decisions will be less rational and more based on desperation, and I can't think of many successful entrepreneurs who said that they went big when they started worrying about their livelihood. Also, I think that a good program should have a low entry barrier where people can prove they're serious before investing in this something big. On the other hand, if you're 100% broke and have zero money to put down to start a business, I think you should not join a program unless it's super cheap and you can afford to have that fixed cost for at least 6 to 12 months, because even if this thing can work pretty quickly and with the right program you could have clients within weeks, you still have to take into account all the variables that are part of your life and life in general that might slow you down way more than what you've planned. And planning for the best but being prepared for the worst is probably the best way to run a business, especially in the beginning. Getting a job or keeping yours is always an option to help you generate some initial income and then save as much as possible to invest in your business. Meanwhile, doing some free practices with acquaintances to get some experience and testimonials testimonials. If I could go back, I'd definitely start from free courses and info from YouTube and Google while creating a strategy that addresses the main issues that I might be dealing with. I'd also probably offer the service for a very low price in exchange for a testimonial and for reviews, and then I'd increase my prices until I'd be able to afford a good program. But even then, I'd ask a lot of questions, do my due diligence, compare options, and run away from people who use sales strategies to close me on the spot and who are uncomfortable with my questions. Had I done that, I would have been probably profitable before spending the first money on courses and programs that were nothing else than free info packed together poorly in an overpriced solution. But being where I am today, I don't recommend that because I know that there's a better strategy to start out, and it's wow sessions. And yeah, I practice what I preach, and if you're starting out, you should not pay to learn that. In fact, you can download my free ebook and practical workbook to learn and implement exactly that. You have all the tips on how to execute it in the ebook, so nothing's left unanswered. And if you like this video, drop a comment to tell me your experience with courses and programs. And remember to like and subscribe to help more people see this kind of content to your big dream.